In the coffee axis of Colombia, nestled in the Golden Triangle between three larger cities, Medellin, Cali, and Bogota, lies a smaller city, a city that many have never even heard of, a city that is home to approximately 500,000 people. This city is called Pereira, and this is my review. First impressions of Pereira. Pereira, to me, when I stepped off the plane and looked at the city, the backdrop of the city with that mountain and everything, those mountains in the weather, the warm weather, it put me directly in the mind of Medellin. Medellin, that's what it reminded me of. Because, you know, Medellin, if you don't know that, the city of Medellin, it has the mountains and it's the city of Eternal Spring and everything like that. So that's what Pereira put me in the mind of. And that's what it's called, a little Medellin, as far as I've heard, and I can understand why. So those mountains and that warm weather, that's what it reminded me of, first impressions, little Medellin, okay? And as I started exploring the city more, driving through and walking through the city, particularly the center of the city, it reminded me more so of El Centro, okay? Especially at the center of the city, particularly because of the way the architecture is, and the stores are directly next to each other or stacked on top of each other, and all the plazas and everything, and the congestion of it all, and there's so many cultural things to see and explore. That's how El Centro is to me in Medellin. So that center of the city of Pereira, that's what it really put me in the mind of. Now, as far as the weather, it does rain a lot. I noticed that from the rip. And every day that I was here, darn near every day, it rained. So you better have your rain, your umbrella, your raincoat or something, your poncho or whatever, because it will rain on you. I don't care what the weather says, but the forecast prediction is you will get rained on. So just be ready for that. Just be on guard. You'll be good. A little rain ain't gonna kill you. Okay. Now, as far as safety, I felt very safe here, safer than any other Colombian city that I've visited so far. And I've visited several of the larger cities like Medellin, Cartagena, and so on and so forth. But nothing against them or anything. It's just those are larger type cities, more touristy and everything, more things going on. A lot of tourists are more of a target there, and people trying to advance their own agenda and stuff like that. And or they may just be nice to you because they think they can get some money out of it. I didn't feel none of that here. You know, it was just here. You're just in a natural element around people going about their day-to-day business. And if they interact with you or speak to you or you ask them something and they're nice, they just have the natural Colombian hospitality. And it's not because, oh, you're a tourist or they're trying to advance their agenda or anything. They're just interacting with you with that hospitality that they would interact with anyone. And I really felt that. I really felt that naturalism. I really felt that authenticity. And I was very happy with the vibe that I got here in Pereira. Okay, now let's talk about Spanish. Yeah, I said it, Spanish. Yeah, you're gonna need to know some Spanish coming to Pereira. This ain't Medellin, this ain't Bogota, this ain't Cartagena, this ain't one of those larger cities with the big tourist and gringo scene. No, this is Pereira. And most people that I've run into here, they don't know English, or if they do, is very little, un poquito. So before you try to take on a smaller city, a smaller town like Pereira, get your Spanish chops up. Open up a book, open up an app, put some effort into learning Spanish. After all, it's very beneficial to do so. It can unlock a whole new side of the world for you, South America. For one, it's the second most popular spoken language in the US. So that's saying a lot right there. And it's the #1 spoken language in South America. So that's big. So if that's not enough reason for you to learn Spanish, I don't know what is. It can save you money because you're able to communicate, you're able to understand more, you're able to get that respect with the locals. You can make new friends, build new relationships, get more opportunities. It just makes your life a richer experience. So stop watching the cat videos or the talk shows that ain't talking about nothing, and crack down and start getting your Spanish chops up. And you can thank me later, because I know that it's very beneficial. I've seen the benefits. I've experienced the benefits. I'm living the benefits. Without Spanish, I couldn't do these solo travels, especially to a smaller city like Pereira. Now, I'm not saying I'm an expert in Spanish or anything, but I know how to hold my own, and I know how to do survival Spanish. So that's my opinion. Hey, get your Spanish chops up. If you don't have at least some basic Spanish under your belt, you don't need to be a Spanish ninja, but you need to have some basic Spanish under your belt before you take on a city like this. Otherwise, deal with the larger, more touristy cities like Medellin, Bogota, Cartagena. That's my take on it. Okay, now let's talk about some things to do here in Pereira. Make no mistake, there's a lot of things to do here. It may not be as much as more the touristy, larger cities in Colombia, but make no mistake, Pereira holds its own. I spent a bulk of my time just taking in the atmosphere in the city, you know, just people watching and going in stores and the shop, especially in El Centro, in the center of the city. You can get lost. It's just store on top of store, inside a store, that you can just go in and get lost day after day, you know, and discover a new shop, a new tienda, a new restaurant. So that right there keep you busy right there, okay? And they do have major malls here too. The largest, most popular mall that I know of here is Centro Comercial Arboleda, okay? Now, that's based on what my drivers and the locals told me. This is the largest, most popular mall in Pereira. Now, this has like 4 levels or so. Very beautiful mall, nice stores and everything. Definitely, if you visit, you have to go to Centro Comercial Arboleda. Some other malls like Victoria Plaza, there's Bolivar Plaza. That's a nice mall, couple of levels high. Also, that's a very important landmark, because outside, across the street, in the external part of the plaza, is a prominent sculpture of Simon Bolivar, known as the Liberator, who to my understanding was a great military and political leader for Latin America. And in this sculpture, he's charging forward nude on a horse, and which signifies freedom, to my understanding. So, needless to say, this statue garners a lot of attention from locals and tourists alike. They like to hang around, chill out, have different events there, and just have a grand old time. And it's just a great monument and landmark to explore. I didn't see a lot of tourists. I felt like I'm the only tourist here. You know, I didn't see any other foreigners that I could recognize. So, but that is a famous landmark. So, very important spot to check out. Also, the nightlife here is on and popping. You know, they have a lot of stuff going in the nightlife. You know, I didn't partake too much in the nightlife here on this trip because I'm solo, and I really just took a shot in the dark coming here in Pereira on a solo trip by myself, and I just wanted to take it all in. But I did walk around and kind of catch the vibe a little bit. And they, you know, they have their bars, their discotecas, you know, their salsa bars, reggaeton, and the restaurants be lit up, everything. People be out doing it. So whether you know Pereira or not, make no mistake, for a smaller city like this, they got their own scene, they holding their own. So it's a lot of things to do. So I'm sure you come here, you will have a good time, just explore the city and be ready to discover a new part of Colombia. So hey, Pereira overall, great experience. I'm glad I came here. I like the small town feel. I will say this is not, it's not a lot to do for tourists here, but it's not boring. You still can find something. Pereira, for a smaller city, I thought it was going to be just like, you know, too slow or ho-hum or whatever. And it was slower than the bigger cities like Medellin, Cartagena, and so on. But make no mistake, Pereira got it going on. They got their own thing going on. You know, a lot of people don't know about it. A lot of people may not need to know it. Pereira doesn't care because they got their own little thing going on. They got a day life, you know, with people meeting up in the parks and in the malls, the central commerciales and the plazas and chilling out. And they got their nightlife too, you know, where the city just lights up and the bars and the discotecas and the salsa clubs or whatever come to life at night and they're all lit up. So I never heard of Pereira in my life. But when I came here and what I've experienced, it's something that I would consider coming back to. Slower than those bigger cities, it's not as touristy, and it's right there in that middle ground that's very interesting. And I definitely feel like it's worth making a trip here and making your own assessment and decision about it. But Pereira, it was cool with me. And if you found value in this review, do me a favor and reach out and smash that like button. Also, be sure to subscribe and click that notifications bell because you don't want to miss a thing. And remember, make every experience a rich experience. See you in the next one.
Venga, pero deberíamos, ¿por qué no vamos donde empezó?